Welcome back to Ask the Good Doctor on Sirius XM Urban View, Channel 126. I am Dr. LaJoyce Brookshire in studio with a woman who represents classic hip-hop culture to the fullest and is a hip-hop pioneer. She is the host of a 2-hour daily show on LL Cool J's Rock the Bells Radio on Sirius XM Channel 49. Have a nice day with Roxanne Shante, featuring DJ Silk. Welcome, Roxanne.
Hey, what's going on? How are you? You said wrong, and it just kept it going. I love it.
Yes, I should.
I love
yes,
it.
Absolutely.
I love it.
So we're glad to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely. All of them running back and forth in the hallways. We share a hallway to our studios.
Yes, we do.
So we finally made this happen. But, you know, when I told you that we were doing a series on laying down the weight, mind, body, and spirit, that really resonated with you. How so?
Absolutely, because I'm a person who has one of those issues with weight. Not that it affects my self-esteem, because I love me big or small, but what I did realize is that coming out and having to actually come to work every day, which is what I do now.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, those damn steps.
I
and
know,
like,
right?
You know, like I didn't realize that, you know, for so many years, really working basically on the weekends had made my life rather easy. So, you know, like during the week, I could just do what I want to and, you know, just make sure that I'm prepared for the weekend. But now it was like, okay, you know what? I need to do this Monday through Friday. And being out of breath and running for the trains, baby.
Okay. Oh, I know. You know, I always said that I was in my best shape. My poom, pam, poom was killing when I was living in New York City.
Oh,
like,
I love it.
I cannot imagine why people in New York are even overweight. Like you say, the stairs.
Oh, yes.
Because when I lived on 145th and Riverside, the D train, the sub-level, it was 123 steps out the subway.
And you see, you counted them.
You know, basically after you climb so many, you don't have anything else to do but count.
Exactly.
So, you know, but Roxanne's Revenge, my favorite jam. You know, you went on to sell 250,000 copies of that back in the day when that was sort of unheard of.
Yeah, and that was in New York alone.
Come on, give us the stats.
Yeah, that was in New York alone. It was definitely a platinum selling single, one of the first for female rappers, but not considered the first one. So one of the things that I do know is that, you know, when you sell that many units, you build those many fans. A lot of times, you know, it's a difference between the fans of Roxanne Shante and then the fans that they have today. You know, in order to be a fan back in the day, you know, that was true sales. That's not clicks.
Come on.
You know, somebody walked into the store and actually purchased an album. Somebody earned that money.
That's right.
You know, there was an exchange between people for that.
Yep.
So I take a lot of pride in that.
Yep.
You know,
as you should.
Yeah, you know, because it's not as easy as a click nowadays.
Come on.
You know, nowadays, if they like you, then they click, they buy it. You know, if not, then they don't. But, you know, back in the days, if they liked it, they waited for the day.
Yes.
They had to go to the store. They had to hope that it was there. You had pre-sales. You had to hope that it was there. You know, even when they become fans or, you know, they had to write a letter to the fan club, wait for the response. You know, back then, things were just paced the way I felt that they were supposed to.
Yes. And you know, with that song, it's rumored that you never write down anything.
No, I don't.
Come on, girl.
I don't. And I think that's the reason why I really feel like I need to concentrate more so on my health more than anything else now, because I'm getting at that age where I still don't write anything down, but I can't remember shit either. So everything is new. Like even my show, even my radio show is different every day because, you know, my intro is actually different every day because I don't write anything down. So it's just an off the head intro. So, you know, it depends on what mood I come in. So if I've eaten a lot of sweets, then I'm in a high sugar mood, then I'm good. You know, if I'm trying to fast, then, you know, it's one of those days. So it just depends on the mood. So I think that's why people tune in. But I also know why it's very important for me now to start concentrating on my health.
Yes, and you said you're eating a lot of sweets. What are your sweets of choice?
Oh, I like, before my shows, I have like mango lassis, which is
mango lassi.
Yeah, but it's natural. It's healthy.
Come on,
you know, it's healthy, but it's super sweet. Okay. It's actually a Indian drink where it's made out of mango with like a homemade yogurt type base to it, but it's very sweet. It's literally like having a mango smashed into a cup.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it's like half drink, half baby food.
Sounds tasty. You have
Yes,
to take
it
me
is.
and get me
Yes,
one of those.
it is. Yes, it is. I have a great show when I have mango lassi.
You know, let's flip to the emotional for a second. Before
Okay.
you even had a driver's license,
Yes.
as a young woman, you had more naysayers, those who said you couldn't, you wouldn't, you should, than your male counterparts did in hip hop. And how did you silence that chatter in your mind?
I still have them now.
Come on.
I still have them today. It doesn't matter what level of success that I achieve. I'm always going to have naysayers. There's always going to be, a band of, whether it's women or men or whatever, that feel that either I didn't deserve what it is that I have, or maybe it's a fact that I don't appreciate it. But what it mainly boils down to is the fact that I love me, and I've always loved me.
Yes.
And in loving me, it allows me not to have room for people who don't love me. So I'm really quick to do that. I'm quick to say, okay, well, you know what, if I find out or I feel that someone doesn't love me, then I'm good with that. And a lot of people aren't.
Yeah, they're right, because it takes a lot of courage to do and say that.
Yeah, well, I grew up in the projects. I grew up in the largest housing project in the world, which is Queensboro.
Is it really?
Yes, it is. 30,000 tenants. So it's its own little city. So I grew up in a city of where you can't let, if you concentrate on people who didn't like you, then you would probably never eat, because you would never go to the store. You'd probably be afraid to go to the store. You'd be afraid to swim in the pool, or you'd be afraid to go outside and play. So it's something that was instilled in me very young. It's like, listen, what another person eats doesn't make me fat, and as long as they don't touch you, I'm one of those people that still lives by that rule. So it doesn't matter to me whether or not people like me, and because of that, you have so many more people who love me because they can identify with that, or either they want that. They say, listen, how do you do that, Shante? And I say, because if I walk around angry for everyone that's done me dirty,
come on,
then I would be stagnant every day as far as what I'm able to achieve and what I'm able to do. If I was to listen to everything that everybody said negative, I've been a runaway. I was a group home girl. I was abused when I was younger. I've been in domestic violence situations. I've done shows with black eyes, busted lips, and didn't hide it, and people were like, I just can't believe that, she's just out there like that. And the fact is, somebody somewhere needs to see somebody with my type of strength in order for them to get out of whatever situation they're in, and so I just enjoy being me. As long as you don't stop loving you, you're fine. Yes. It's when you stop loving you, and my self-esteem is tucked away very, very safely. So even to the fact of where I don't allow people to boost my self-esteem, because if you allow people to boost your self-esteem, then they also have the possibilities of deflating it. So therefore, I don't allow that to happen. Like, a person can't come to me and say, girl, you've done this, you've done that, but you're still so humble. I say, yeah, well, I am what I am. I'm good. I'm okay. And I keep that same pace with everything, because I've learned to not depend on people for the good or the bad.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, you can't depend on folks, because they will switch up on you in a heartbeat.
Let you down every time.
I'm trying to tell you.
On March 1st, you posted this, and I'm just going to read it. Last year on this day, I was still convincing myself that I deserve all that was about to be given to me. And today, I am convinced. I am truly convinced. That makes me all teary-eyed.
Oh.
Because I understand what you're saying here. What was going through in your mind?
Well, it had been a year. I had received a extremely large check, and literally I was holding it in my hand, and I was saying to myself, like, wow, like, you really, and I'm going to be open and honest with you, I was like, you really pulled this shit off. Look at this shit, Shante. You look at this shit, It was like one of those days where I just had to look at I was like, let me go to the bathroom mirror. I was like, girl, do you know what you did? When people were trying to count you out and said that this wasn't going to be the case, when people thought that it wasn't going to be, they was like, oh, maybe a couple of thousand of people will watch the movie, and then for you, and then for you to sit back and look and find out that, that 32 million plus people watched it.
Come on.
And you were compensated accordingly. I was like, you see this shit, Shante, like, you could quit right now, and then I was thinking to myself that I can't quit, because there's somebody else that has a story that needs to be told, that needs to know that you should tell it. You should do it. It's there. It's right now. I was that person walking down that street and was scared to turn that corner, because I was like, man, every time I turn the corner, there's some more bullshit waiting right there for me. But I'm telling you, sometimes when we turn that corner, our greatness is right around that corner. But because we cross the street and we go another way, we just keep avoiding it. But your greatness is looking for you. And when you find each other, and that's what I did. It was like, literally, I had been going through everything in my life. Like, every man that had came into my life besides my son, every man that had came into my life was a disappointment. Was a disappointment, and I'm just letting you know, it was a disappointment. They was a liar. There was always some manipulative situation. I was wondering, what is it that I do to attract this type of person to me, to my life? And then I realized, I attract those people because I can handle what they throw.
Come on.
And if I didn't attract them, they may have went to someone else and truly broke them. And when a woman gets broken, those are generations that are broken.
It's true.
Because she's broken,
Birthing the
then her
nations.
child, exactly,
Yep.
then her child feels that, then her child's child feels
Yep.
that. I think they say it takes about 5 generations for that
undo.
to undo. So I was like, well, you know what? I done saved 50 years of families, by dealing with this situation. So yeah, so when I had to say to myself, like, you know what, Shante, with all of you've done, you do deserve this, And so, yeah, so I took a moment and I was just like, looking at it like, damn, I do. And then got up, put my regular scarf on, jumped right on the New Jersey Transit
Yes.
train. And matter of fact, because you've seen me how I
That's
look when I
right.
get on the train and get right on the train looking like a goddamn bag lady, my headphones, and sat down in the chair and was like, man, I could fly to work if I want to.
Come on.
Okay?
Yes,
But you know what? But I'm going to
sister.
sit right here and hand these people my ticket because that's me.
Yes.
I'm still going to get on the subway because that's me. And when people stop me, I stop and I converse with them because that's me. Whether it's the homeless man who watches my car by the train station at night, and he'd be like, man, Roxanne, you need to get a new starter on your car. I was like, man, listen, as long as you watching my car, I'm good. Don't worry. He was like, yeah, I'm trying to tell you. Then when I get in it and it don't start, he's like, see, told you. I'd be like, man, look, go get us some Dunkin' Donuts and, let me call my husband or my son and get one of them to come.
Yes.
Like people laugh at the fact that, I still drive my car is actually older than my youngest daughter and she's 22.
Wow.
So I drive, I have a car that old. It still has a tape deck.
That's just as long as it works.
It does. And we still put tapes in it. And you know
love
why?
that.
Because I've learned in life that make your name a brand and you don't have to worry about name brand. So all that name brand shit means nothing to me.
And that's what I love about you. You've always been so down to earth.
Yes.
And you never got caught up in the whole glam squad thing. And, I heard you say one time that you would get on stage with what you had on all day.
I sure will. I sure do. Look, you can check my pictures. You'll see me in that shit earlier that day. I had that same shit on at night, going to the thing, because I'm just that type of person. And I think people can relate to that. When I go to places, they be like, oh, where's your glam squad? And I pull out 1 tube of lipstick. I say, okay, here she is. She ain't late.
You put your lipstick on. It's on.
Here she is. She ain't late,
Yes.
and I crack jokes about it because my grandma, my mom, my great-grandmother, they have always worn red lipstick. So for us, it was almost like war paint.
Yes.
So I would put on my war paint and go to war.
Go to war.
Okay.
All right. And never repeat the same line twice.
Never.
Girl, it's a gift. And, people who've tried to abuse the gift by not giving you royalty checks?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And again, I don't even concentrate on that. I don't concentrate on the fact of I was 14, 15, 16 years old, never received a royalty check for any of the songs that I had written myself, never received when it came to publishing or writer's credits or anything. Like, I get those now.
Yes, you've been making.
But yeah, I get those now, but I didn't get them then. And actually, I look at it almost like a blessing because everyone who got their money then are either broke now or have went through some type of drugs or something. And I've never drank. I've never smoked. I have never used any drugs. I've dealt with life very sober.
Head on.
And that was because I felt that, with everyone around me being high and using it as an excuse to do some of the, negative and mean and nasty things that they would do, that I never wanted to be in that position. Plus, I felt that running from reality wasn't going to help me any because as soon as I come back, it was going to be right here.
See?
So why do that? So I'm kind of thankful that they didn't pay me the way they should have paid me because who knows, I might have been one of those people who got to the point of where, okay, there's nothing left to do but get high. But for me, every day was a struggle, so there was always something to do.
Come on. What kept you in your darkest moments?
My son and my sisters, because I raised my son and my sisters since I was 13 years old. And I gave away my childhood to make sure that they had a wonderful and a great childhood. Made sure that they had great holidays, made sure they were able to go to the best schools, and then to see who they have become now as adults. I feel like, every time that I pushed through that darkness was worth it.
It was indeed.
Absolutely.
Well, Roxanne, we thank you so much for being
Thank you.
here. We thank you. We want you all to check out the Netflix film, Roxanne.
Yes,
Did you
yes.
write that? Did you co-write that?
Yes, and I serve as executive producer on it. And so I was on set every day.
What was that like seeing your life played out in front of you, girl?
Some parts were good, some parts were difficult, some parts were very difficult.
Cathartic?
Because I felt like when I would relive certain scenes, it was like, I wish I would have been able to step into that scene and help Shante at that age. You know, like just that one time, had she not experienced that one thing, you know, or even if I would have been able to go back in time and whisper in her ear, like, listen, you're not going to believe this, but this shit is going to be a movie and you're going to be great. Okay. You know, like if I just would have had just that little bit, but then again, maybe I would not have, you know, lived it the way I lived it.
Yeah. Well, we thank you for it. Listen, and there's nothing
Thank
I
you.
can say but go see, but, you know, rent the movie, binge on it, watch it.
Please do.
It's excellent. Please do, because with every click, she gets a check.
Cha-ching.
We love it. We love it. And tune in to Have a Nice Day with Roxanne Shante on LL Cool J's Rock the Bells, Channel 49 on Sirius XM. I'm Dr. LaJoyce Brookshire. Stay put. We'll be back after this.